Hey guys, welcome back to this interactive series where I have showed you how I produced an entire song from scratch, recorded guitars, bass, organ, drums, and did a light mix and master for one of my old songs I wrote a few years ago, back in 2021 or something. Then I took that into Suno and then I'm now putting it into Moises. Let's see what it does. Okay, so what is Moises? This is the platform. It's set to be an AI based rehearsal practice app, but they also have a studio, a voice studio, jam session. They do mastering, mixing, and there's a track separator. So predominantly, this was created by a drummer, if I remember, and it was made for practicing so that people can get the songs, upload it, and get the stems and change basically however they want to experience the mix. Lower the drums or take out the drums, practice drums. You can do the same thing. But now with AI in pretty much most of the DAWs, you can take out stems or you can create stems super easily. So is this an important function or what is Moises good for? So let's go to Studio, which is also in beta mode, and it has this voice studio. So if you have a song that has voice, you can actually use one of their trained singers in there. All right, so let's create a new project and we're gonna create E minor funk rock 105, and then we're gonna drag in. So one thing that I want to, how good is its stem separator? That's a mouthful to say. Okay, so let's find the file. Okay, here it is. And I believe this is the new mix where I re-recorded all the guitars and everything. Yep, there it is. So let's drag it in, add, and this is the two mix. So it has everything in it. And let's see what it detects. I I know for a fact that it's 105 and E minor, and the chords are mostly E minor in the first section, and B section it's E minor, G, and then A, and then flat 6, flat 7, 1 or something like that. I should know it. I wrote it. I mean, I have it in my mind and in my hand. So it gave us some chords. I don't know how good it is. Okay, it detected some of the chords that I'm playing over an E. Okay. Okay, so we have. Okay, so there was a chord right there, which would be G, but it didn't detect that. Maybe because there was no clear. Maybe it wasn't a clear signal there that it changed. Okay, so if I were to practice and I don't know the chords, this might be a decent start, but let's do this. Okay, it detected 105, 4 E minor. Great start. Great start. So let's separate the stems. And, well, we can either auto detect or stem select or select stem. One, we let it detect what instruments it has, and then the other one, we actually tell it. So, you know what? Let's let it do it. So, auto detect. So, one thing I'm going to be curious about is can we add different drums, different keys, different bass, maybe? Add horns, see what it can do. On the right side, we have stem generation, stem separation, voice conversion, and AI mixing. So AI mixing would mix whatever we have here, I suppose. And on the right, we have AI Studio, track separation, voice studio, jam sessions, mastering, plugins. Okay, so we have the stems here. Let's see what we got. Interesting. That's a pretty clean bass track sound. It's okay, some parts are interesting, but if you want to learn a song and you need to separate, this is a decent tool, I suppose. Okay, let's check out the guitars. There were a lot of guitars. I mean, okay, not wall of guitars, but I've triple tracked. You see it. It's in the other video. That's pretty cool, actually. You can clearly tell the difference between the what is it called? The clean guitar and the distorted guitar. Interesting. Let's check out the keys. That's very artifacty. Ooh, that's very artifacty. Dang, that's very artifacty. I did not like that one. Okay, let's see this. Interesting. I mean, it's not bad. You can learn the parts, and if you can't hear the drums that well, this separates it and you can hear it, but it has artifacts. Yeah, it has artifacts. Interesting. It has some elements from other instruments. Yeah, it has. It sounds like it has the reverb or something of other instruments. Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's hear what it did. Okay, interesting. Now, let's try to generate tracks based on these, and then I might bring in my separate tracks. So, like the guitars, bass, and use those two to build a track. See, okay, so let's go to stem generator. Here we are at drums. Now, there's a bunch of different styles here. But there is AI match, which basically tries to match it to the style that it detected. And then there's custom, and you can have inspire me, whatever that is, and then add the reference. So best result, use isolated target instrument. So I guess we could upload our drums as a reference and see what drums it would create using my drums. But let's take a couple minutes to generate drums here. So let's do AI match drums. And it's listening to all the stems, including my drums. Now, while this is doing that, I'm gonna get the stems of my own. So we're opening my session, Logic session. By the way, that has the Suno files. So wherever you are in the journey, if this is the second video of you seeing, check out that video. And if you haven't seen how I constructed the song, check out that video. And then there will be another video where I'm going to be showing Aiode or however you pronounce it. So this meant to be an interesting experience, so I'm still experimenting. So here is the original session, and these are all from Suno, which I'm gonna name Suno. So we got the drums. Let's see what it did. I'm gonna take my drums out. Let's see what it did. Interesting. So it has some artifacts in it. The quality of the drums I'm not a fan of, but what it plays is not terrible. Okay, here's what I'm proposing. I'm actually gonna get this drums. This is my drums from Logic. Okay, so let's actually export it. So Logic stems, and I'm gonna name it drums. Okay, this has mastering on it, so I might want to export it without the master. Although that does contribute to its sound, but it contributes to the overall sound. So I'm gonna export it without the master as well. Okay, now let me take the ozone out. We're gonna use this. Let's export the drums. No master. Okay, and then we're gonna export the drums. And then we're gonna export the bass and the guitars. That is gonna give us the basis, so we can use those to generate an organ track, or maybe export the horns. I don't know. Moises is supposed to be a context-aware generation basis, so it has to have stuff in there to be able to generate something. Here's the bass. Just like when I was showing you Suno Studio, like I have to have something on it to be able to generate ideas. Bass. Same with Aiode. So you have to always start with an initial idea and go back and forth. So it is an interesting workflow when you're using these tools, because you're also kind of relying on the tools' current limitations. But when you're working by yourself and layering and stuff, you're working with your own limitations and the sounds that you have available, all the virtual instruments, everything, and your judgment and your taste. So now I'm also giving up some of my taste and sound based on what this tool has to offer. So it's kind of interesting. And here's the guitar. So let's go back here and generate bass. Let's see what kind of bass it will generate, actually. AI match it. So it's taking all the elements that it has here, analyzing it, and creates a bass track for us. Well, for me. I found these experiments kind of interesting because the only way really to learn these things is by digging deep into it, you know, having a project or something, and you learn really what it's good for, what it's not good for, what could be the potential benefits in your workflow. And like, let's say if you're traveling, for instance, and you have a minimal setup, what can you do with these sort of things? Like, if I don't have a keyboard with me, that I usually use for MIDI. How can I turn an idea that I have into a more fleshed out demo or something like that? At the end, I think these tools can be good to kind of get a good demo ready and get an idea of stylistic elements and things like that, and then get into production. Okay, so we got the bass, so let's mute the bass that I played and let's see what this did. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. It's not bad. I'm gonna be honest with you. It plays the right chords. It didn't do the riff, but I didn't dislike it. It didn't do that riff. It didn't do it, but what it did was not bad. I mean, it kept in the chords. It laid down more like the root, and then it played the chords here or the roots of the chords. It wasn't bad, uh, but that's not what I did, you know. Okay, now let's go out and let's start over. New project, funk rock A minor 105. Oh, I'm in a different language here. Funk rock 105 E minor. Okay, so now we're gonna add files. Oh, okay, logic stems. We're gonna add all of these, except this. Okay, so let's change that. 105 and then E minor. I don't want to deal with the auto detect now. So let's create drums, but we actually gonna use my reference, my files. So let's upload the drums, add, and then I'm gonna say funk rock driving drums. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it has like this helper, energetic Powerful. Okay. Heavy. Okay, so let's use these drum set. Okay. So it's taking the guitars and the bass as the context, and it's generating based on that context. I've said context so many times. Crazy. I'm very curious what the drum will sound, because these were my drums that I played from Logic, and these were just the drums. So I'm curious about the quality of it. And we can upload my bass and do the same thing. So I'm very, very curious. I click. Oh, interesting. Okay. So you could click on this little, I don't know what that rocket launch button, and it interesting, and it kind of fixes your prompt. So I could generate another one and see which one will be better. Oh. Okay, so we got the first one. I'm gonna mute this because I don't want this drum track to influence the new drum track. Also, next to the generate stem, there is this other function. We have the creative control, and able to manually adjust how creative the generation is. Low values are more creative, and adventurous high values are more strict. You can keep all sliders at same value or change them individually to prioritize one aspect over the other. Okay, interesting. So if it's on, you can be more stricter, you can add more stuff. There is optimized conditioning, more stable results when enabled, disabled to boost conditioning influence and cost of stability. Use project chords. Okay, so if the chords are well detected or I fix it, then we can have that enabled and it will use those chords. Okay, now this is going to be interesting. So one, I just put in my prompts, and then the second one, I have asked Moises to fix up my prompt. So let's see. Let's A/B it. So this is mine. Okay, let's check out this section. Okay, let's check out the first generation. I'm super excited about that. Interesting. It's a way cleaner stem, so I can tell that it made a difference to upload my stem there, and it kind of gave us a bit of a lo-fi-ish type of drum sound. Interesting, right? It went to ride. Yeah, it's interesting there. It kind of goes a little offish sounding. Okay, let's check out the other one. Not bad. I like this one way better than when I used Moises to separate the tracks. I used the AI stamps to generate. So let's check out the prompt assist help from Moises. Way cleaner drum sound. It's a different beat. It's a different beat. I would try to have more of a. I like mine, but it's not terrible. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It's honestly pretty dope. Okay, I like that one so much better. Okay, now let's check out this creative control again. So it says low values are more creative and adventurous. High values are more strict. So if I understand this, the lower it is, the more crazier it goes. So conditioning strictness, how strongly to follow requested conditioning or presets. And then the strictness, how strict to follow audio context. Okay, I want that to follow. So let's put this to 10. Let's put it to, okay, 16 is the biggest. So let's put it to 10. Let's put it to 12. 12. And then this, let's put it to 2. Harmonic stretchness. Don't know what that is. Okay, let's try this. I'm very curious about that. So, do we still have that? Okay. Okay, so we're creating drums again. We used that. We used the prompt assist, which wasn't there a few days ago. So that's new. And I have uploaded my own drums that I did. So it's supposedly gonna use that sound or be influenced by it. So let's see. I'm very curious. So the prompt did make a difference. I did end up liking the prompt assist's sound more than what I just wrote there. What I wrote there was very minimal, minimalistic. Okay, that was fast. We got it already. So let's see. Similar to mine. Let's check out my drums. Not bad. honestly, I really like it. I really like it. One more try without my drum track. So I took out the drum track and I hit the prompt assist again. So it says punchy funk rock drums, tight driving groove, powerful kick, snare, crisp hi-hat, energetic fills, heavy impactful sound. Okay, let's mute this. And I have the same conditioning because I liked it. Let's generate. So now it has no referential context. Though, if I were to be crazy, I would find like a rock drum sound maybe off of Splice. So I don't honestly know if that's even something that people could do. I am a paid Splice member, so I could go ahead and get a drum sound. Come on. I don't know what. Oh, not responding. Let's let's see, because if it if that makes any difference, it could be interesting. Rock drums, rock drums. Heavy rock drums. This might be good. Okay, that's pretty dope. Okay, so I'm gonna download this and see how we can use that. But okay, we got the new drums, and remember this, I did not use a reference track, but used my two tracks here, the guitars and the bass, as context, and we used the assist here, and let's see what it did. Okay, it's not bad. It's following the guitar, the bass. I still like the previous one, but it's punchy. Like it's a clean track. It's interesting. It's a clean track. It has no artifacts that I can hear. Okay, some of them. Okay, I hear some things that could be better, but it's not terrible. Okay, now let's do one last test, and that would be to try this classic rock. So, classic rock, and then we have the same creative control here. We're gonna be strict. We're gonna be strict. We're gonna be even stricter. Let's follow the music as much as possible. Okay. So we're using one of the presets, classic rock. I was going between either classic rock or heavy, but I feel like each one of these has a signature kind of sound, I guess, maybe. Actually, the last thing that we're gonna do is try that loop as a reference. I'm really curious, what is Moises taking from the reference? Is it taking the sound? Is it using that sample to generate the sound from? I don't know. So I'm curious. Splice, please don't hate me for doing this. I love y'all and I am a paid member, so sponsor me. Okay, let's see what this did. And remember, this was the preset. Not a fan of the sound quality. I mean, it does what it should, I guess, but the sound quality is not very good. Yeah, it's not a very good sound quality. Okay, so let's go back here, Inspire Me. Let's see. And we're gonna add a reference track. So let's go to Splice. And I guess we're gonna... Oh, okay. Splice. Drag this in. Add. Okay, raw. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, shoot. I wish I used heavy beat, funk, heavy beat, type bucket. Okay, we're gonna do this again. Let's see. Okay, okay. I can live with this. Swagger. Type. Okay. Dry snare. It's giving us some ideas. Let's see. Creative control. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna go to 12 and 2 because the lower this is, the more creativity, I suppose, you're allowing it. So let's put it to 5, and then this has to take the ideas from the context as much as possible. Okay, let's see. So this is from that Splice sample. So let's hear that sample again. So I'm very curious what that stem is gonna sound like here, using that as a reference, but also our context and the prompt. So our context, which is the rhythm of my playing, both the guitar and the bass, so the kick, snare should align with my rhythms. And then there's the prompt, which verbally trying to communicate the sound quality and the I guess the type of mix of the sound. And then the reference, I really don't know what it's communicating here. Okay, let's check it out. We got it. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so let's now let me find what I liked. I think it may have been this. No. Okay, now let's create a bass based on my reference. So let's add that reference. Logic stem, bass. Okay, add rock driving funk bass. And then let's kind of like use this prompt help or prompt assist. Okay, driving gritty rock bass line, think punchy. Okay, so we've got my bass here. We're using what the drums that it generated and my guitar tracks. Let's go back here to mingle with the creative controls. We want my influence or the guitars at least that's there currently and the drums. And then okay, let's try this. I'm very curious what this is gonna do. Very curious. And then after this, what I'm curious is adding just sparse new ideas based off of what I have that can be potentially used in a final one. So, like if I run out of ideas, can I bring the full track in and add some ideas in there using its AI functions? Is it good enough? Well, who wants to use good enough? It needs to be good. Is it fitting? Is it fitting in the production, in the mix? Would it sound good mixed? So it's interesting. I found it interesting. I don't really want to judge any type of tool until I figured out what it's good for, you know. So I feel like if I judge it, then I really don't give it times. Oh, and there's guidelines here. Interesting. Okay, y'all. This is something I should have read before. So check out these guides. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to have to go through that in another video. Okay, we got the bass. Let's check out that bass. So let me show you contextually my bass. Here's my bass. Now let's check out this section. Okay, let's check out the new bass. That is not something I would use. Why does it have drums in it? That's crazy. That is not good, y'all. That is not good. That does not even sound like a real bass. Delete. Actually, maybe I shouldn't have deleted it so that I can show you guys after the fact. Okay, let's go back here to the preset. Let's try. Is there a rock bass here? Okay, let's do the electric standard. Okay. We're gonna have to go with AI match. What? Okay, let me add the secondary track. My drums. Let's add my drums. Actually, no. Let's add the drums that I liked here. Okay, so it needed to have another source. Maybe for rhythm purposes? I don't know. So now I'm generating the bass based off of the AI match, the drum track that I had Moises create, and my guitars. So I didn't prompt. I don't even think I worked around with the creative control here. Okay, we got the bass. Let's check it out. Okay, so it's way better than before, but it's making changes that I don't like. So let me try to I'm going to use heavy this time and see. After this, I think I'm going to stop all the generation and try to move on to another type of task, which is can I make this? Can I make my track better by using Moises AI? Can I generate like percussions, keys, or strings or something else on it that would be a good addition to the production? It looks like if you come up here is where you could download all your files. Okay, you could download the tracks, you could download the chord chart. Interesting. Create a shareable web link to your chord chart. Oh, that's kind of cool. iReal Pro and Music XML and then web link. Pretty okay, that's pretty interesting. Tracks. Okay, looks like you can download tracks in different formats in the full mix. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Now let's check out this heavy bass. Interesting. Way better. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, so these two tracks could potentially be useful. Potentially. I'm saying this because it did take some quiet time, and I would say it took us about an hour to get this. And realistically, when you're on a tight deadline, you know, I could have played this within, I don't know, within 10 minutes. You know, in the bass, of course, I could play the entire thing in a couple of takes. So within this 50 minutes segment that it took me to get here, I could have done this with the skills that I already have as a musician and producer. But this is not bad. It could be useful, but for production, we have to see. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Okay, now let's go back. Oh, whoopsie. Let's go back and then let's try to sweeten this. So I'm going to go to new. Oh, we don't want separation. So E minor, funk, rock, 105, sweetener, or sweetening, whatever. So here I want to sweeten my track. Add, so let's try to create percussion, custom, and congas, shakers, funk, percussion, and we're gonna hit this prompt assist. Okay, funky, syncopated. I don't want syncopated. Congas, shakers, driving with percussion, soulful dance rhythm. I don't want that. Okay, let's try this. And second try is going to be finding actually a sample here. So like percussion. These are not my favorite at all. Okay, let's see. All right, so we got the percussion generation. Let's see what it did. Okay, we need more shakers here. This is not a very good sounding thing here. Shaker. Okay, that is pretty cool. Okay. So I'm going to add the reference. I wonder how many references can I add? Can I add more than one percussions? Congas. Okay, it's pretty good. Congas. Congas. Boom, boom, kakatsa, boom, boom, the kakatsuka. No. That's pretty cool. Let's see. So we're going to upload that as a reference and try to get congas. Now I am curious what the legal aspect of this would be. So like, could you upload a sample and use that as a reference? How is Moises using the reference? So I'd love to know. Okay, so here's shakers. That's pretty cool. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, it added kicks. We didn't want that. Oh, Lord. Oh, interesting. It sounds similar to that percussion that I uploaded. It's not bad, but it has elements I don't want. So let's shakers. I just want shakers. That's all I want. Maybe if I do this and be very strict with the generation, I don't know. Okay, okay, we got the generations. Let's check out the first one. Okay. We got 4 in the floor. Okay, workaround there would be high pass. Let's check out this. We literally got a full drum kit. We don't want that. Okay, now let's add that percussion. Add and now congas. Warm, resonant, syncopated Latin grooves, lively hand percussion. Okay, guess so. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, we got this custom drums here. Let's see what we got. Not good. Not good. Not good. Okay. Maybe it needs to be other. I don't know. Okay, I mean, we did get congas. Okay, it's I don't think I would able to use it, but let's get back to it. Let's see what else we can do. So let's try to create strings. Okay, let's add strings. Okay, we're just using my track, so we're adding strings to it. And then we're gonna add keys to it. Let's see. We're gonna let AI generate track based on context audio. Okay, so we're generating at the same time. We're generating a string section, whatever it means for this, and then an AI match keys. Acoustic sim. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Okay, we got the strings. Let's check it out. What? What is this? That is a complete different song. Oh my gosh. Oh, interesting. I didn't set the tempo. I mean, it isn't this tempo 105 E minor. I mean, it did do a good job with it, but mamma mia. What did it do for key? No, no, no. Oh my gosh, no. Oh, acoustic strum. 105 E minor. I mean, it isn't this tempo 105 E minor. I mean, it did do a good job with it, but mamma mia. What did it do for key? No, no, no. Oh my gosh, no. Ooh, acoustic strum. 105 E minor. I mean, it isn't this tempo 105 E minor. I mean, it did do a good job with it, but mamma mia. What did it do for key? No, Let's try a rock overdrive. And I did put it to E minor. I completely didn't notice that I didn't do that. Let's try that string again. If it makes any difference that I changed the key signature and the time. I mean, key signature and the tempo. So far, not my favorite. Shakers, I could live with, but honestly, it took more time than just doing it in Logic, honestly. By the way, when you're going to reference track, you can upload it from your computer, existing track, whatever you already uploaded, record it, so I can record it here, or use the cloud storage. Okay, we got the raw guitar, so let's check this out. Interesting. This one honestly is not as bad as I thought it would be. Not as bad as I thought. Okay, that AI match keys is actually kind of cool. Okay, interesting. Okay, so surprisingly the rock overdrive guitar and the AI match keys were actually pretty decent. Interesting. Let's check out that strings. Some elements are not bad. Okay, interesting. Some of these elements are not bad. Okay, so what I would have to do is actually download all of these files from this session and the previous session and see how this can be blended again back in Logic. So Logic is always going to be our main hub, the main place of creation. And all of these other platforms, we take whatever is useful, drop it in, and mix it in. But yeah, anyway, so let's hop into Logic and let's put all of these things together and let's see what I can come up with that helps the song, that evolves the song. Anyway, see you guys in the next bit.